Confucianism, the philosophical and ethical meaning of life. The birth of this religion began in China during the Zhou dynasty. This was the longest dynasty in the history of China, which lasted over 800 years. During this monumental dynasty, Master Kong was born. As Master Kong grew up, he became very fascinated with his studies. The more involved he became with his studies and diverse cultures of the world, the more missionaries he came in contact with. These missionaries later named Master Kong Confucius. This name is rooted to the word opening, which represented all our opportunities.
BC. In this vast time period, Confucius developed a way to bring peace to all. The Warring States period was full of misery and despair. Confucius saw the sorrow these people felt and decided he needed to find a way to restore the ethical meaning of life. The ethical meaning of
Confucianism is neither polytheistic or monotheistic. In fact, they are non-theistic. Non-theistic is the belief in no gods or supernatural beings. The three main concepts of this religion are social order, mercy, and fulfillment of responsibilities. Social order is the way you act in public by acting mature and polite. Having mercy means being compassionate towards those in harm or inflicting harm. The last of these three main concepts is the fulfillment of responsibilities. This means always doing your part and finishing what you've started, no matter how hard.
Confucianism started out as an ethnic religion in China, which was considered small. All the followers were concentrated into the small country of China. At the time, China was rather small because of the boundary issues between countries. Confucianism started to universalize when Confucius's disciples were distributed across China and soon the world. The movement of Confucianism did not occur until 50 years after its beginning, and even then it was small. The exact location of China during the Zhou dynasty was 31.56 degrees north and 120 degrees east.
Disciples were some of the most important officials in Confucianism. These disciples would spread the three concepts of Confucianism and the five principles far and wide. The five principles create a foundation for past and modern-day Confucianism. The first of the five principles is Zhen, which represents respect for one's dignity as a human being. The second is Cheng-Li, which stands for having a good attitude and being an ideal person. Li is the third, that means you must follow the correct ritual. T, the fourth, states you must always respect the government to create a stable community. The last of the five is Wen, which says you must be directed toward the more beautiful aspects of life.
Peace was very important to Confucius because it represented hope in the dark time of his youth. Peace is freedom of disturbance and tranquility. This disturbance happened throughout the ancient world. As many religions diffused across the globe, the powerful beliefs of Confucianism stayed ethnic in China. These beliefs did more than enough to satisfy those helpless in ancient China.
Confucianism has many interesting rituals and ceremonies. Since they do not believe in gods, they instead worship their ancestors. They do this by preparing shrines and altars to worship those who came before them. Ancestor worship has always been an important role in China's history. Another key part of this religion was King Ming. They celebrate King Ming 106 days after the winter solstice. They celebrate it by visiting their ancestors' graves and bringing offerings such as paper money, cloths, and food during the ceremonies. All these ceremonies lead back to their ancestors.
Confucius temples, which are formerly known as Kangyao, are scattered all throughout China.
that everyone should be seen as equal. These ideas became popular in China during the 20th century. The communists have now left China but largely dislike the idea of Confucianism. This greatly impacted China today.
We have come to the conclusion that Confucianism was and is very important to China. Confucianism helped lay a foundation for China's culture and beliefs. Confucianism was a powerful influencer and philosopher.